Grenadians may not get to know of its government's decision on the U.S. military request by this weekend after all. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell has said on his own podcast Tuesday night that his briefing to the nation on the issue will come in Parliament on Friday, but suggested it is likely to be more of a contextual report. But there is another development. The Parliament only on Wednesday morning announced that the session for Friday has been postponed until next Tuesday. It is not clear now if the Prime Minister will wait until Tuesday or do a national broadcast of some type before that. Carib Update News has been reporting, quoting multiple sources, that the government is leaning towards turning down the request. But the Prime Minister suggested on Tuesday night that his pending statement will be largely to give context.
In this case, the request that is provided has a certain context. It is a request from the U.S. Southern Command from a military perspective. Grenada has no military. So it is not something just right off the bat that we are familiar with. So that immediately makes it a different type of request, which is why we have to consider the pros and cons of whether we agree.
Prime Minister Mitchell made it clear in his podcast that there is no decision to be announced, even though he welcomes the raging national debate on the issue.
I appreciate that because of the history of the Morris Bishop International Airport, because October in particular is tied to that history, and because the media reports came out in October, that it is a highly emotional issue for everyone. But for me as the Minister for National Security, we have to validate that. We have to take into account, and I'm extremely happy that the public has had extensive debating. They've shared their views. They've spoken about it. People have made their comments. People have sent their suggestions. People have made their recommendations. It shows the vitality of our democracy. It shows that freedom of speech is alive and well in Grenada. And it shows that we have a government that clearly understands that, because we made no decision. If we had made a decision without informing the public, with the discussions with the public, it would have been a different thing.
Speaking at a government-sponsored Heroes Day event on Monday as a guest speaker, Didicus Jules, who is also Director General of the OECS, said Grenada is being put under tremendous pressure.
We have seen how great powers use small lands for proxy wars, and how the lives of ordinary people are left shattered in its wake. Let me say clearly, the OECS stands in full solidarity with the government and people of Grenada as they navigate these imponderable currents. We recognize the tremendous and enormous pressures brought to bear on small states that strive to chart their own course in a turbulent world. And we affirm the right of every Caribbean nation to determine its destiny, free from coercion, free from fear, and faithful to its own conscience.
Jules said countries such as Grenada will choose a dialogue over confrontation.
Once again, the powerful seek to use the small as pawns in their great game of global dominance. The Caribbean has long declared itself a zone of peace, a region that chooses dialogue over domination, cooperation over confrontation.
Mitchell said the request had been before the government since August. It was only made to comment on it this month, less than 24 hours after Carib Update News, together with WPG 10 TV, broke the story.
The public became aware of this through media reports, and we responded. But this request was made since August. We're in October. So if we were in a position to make a decision, August, September, October, and if we wanted to rush to do so, we could have done so.
From the Breaking News Desk, I am Tahira Burke.